Hey there, this is Iman at Philly Wholesaler Chick, and I just wanted to thank Steph for asking me to come share with you guys about, a little bit about who I am and what I do. And I'm going to jump right into the questions. Again, as I said, I'm live in Philadelphia, from the Philadelphia area. And actually, how I got started in real estate was actually my interest was piqued when I, was in the process of buying my own home. So, probably 7 years after that, I was working, and one of the guys I was working with shared with me, what him and his fiance were doing, that they were, buying real estate, and come to find out, it was tax lien investing that they were, how they were picking up properties. And he shared with me, the book, I think it was Robert G. Allen's Multiple Streams of Income, something like that. And from there, I just, devoured and soaked up everything I could possibly find about real estate investing. I went into forums, I joined a RIA, and just, surrounded myself with people who were doing what I wanted to do, and went from there and educated myself, bought courses and things like that. And then, I had the fortunate experience of being laid off. And as a result of that, there were a series of events that took place that had me come back to Philadelphia. I was living in North Jersey, about in Essex County, 20 minutes outside Manhattan, and that's where I actually got started wholesaling, but have since relocated to Philadelphia. So, but what is my most effective strategy for finding deals? And I would say it has to be this thing here, and this thing here, this instrument here. It's a red pen, and these are, as you can see, various colors, imitation style type envelopes that I send out. And how I find these people is that I subscribe to a list service, and I set the parameters. In this case, it just happens to be absentee owners who own their property, free and clear. So I address the envelope, with the person's name. I then put my P.O. box. I use a P.O. box. I don't use my, personal residence on the envelope. And I typically, like, as you can see probably on this one, these are return letters, but, that little Bart Simpson type thing, funny stamps I put on there and send them off. And also, with my most effective strategy for finding buyers happens to be the same list service. I can pull up to 4,000 records for both sellers and buyers. Same thing, send a letter. Essentially, the letter with the buyer is that, hey, we noticed that that we have a property for sale in the same neighborhood that you recently purchased the property. We're looking to let it go for X amount of dollars, on and on and on. So that has to be my most effective strategy. I say that because, it helps to leverage my time. You just have the letters written, send them out. But, there are other things that I do, that are equally as effective as sending out yellow letters. And that would be, and I also mail to other, target other seller types, but, absentee owners, that's my business phone ringing. But anyway, I use these things, bandit signs. I use dirtcheapsigns.com is where I purchased mine from. That's a 12x8 sign that I just showed you. And for $107 investment, that includes shipping and handling. Hey, put some bandit signs out. I think, they work. I know for a fact that they work very well, especially in urban areas. I'm sure they work in I don't know, other areas. I don't know about the suburbs or rural areas, but in major metropolitan areas, those things are like magnets. So they get the phone ringing, letters get the phone ringing, and that type of thing. So, and also with, with finding cash buyers as well, I do use these things. As you can see, cardboard sign, and I got that from my buddy Mark, so I have to give credit where credit is due. And I use the card. I think why that particular sign type is effective is because the psychology behind it, I believe, is that, wow, this person's really desperate, they can't even afford to buy a really nice pretty sign, that times must really be hard. And especially if you have a property that you're marketing that's really like dirt cheap. I mean, those things, I mean, trust me, for anything under $10,000, I mean, even a little above that, I'm just saying, but the cheaper the better, the phone's going to be ringing. So, tell you about my last deal. My last deal and how I found it was, again, by way of yellow legal pad paper. It's also called, we call it yellow letter marketing. That's how I found the deal, and how I found the buyer for the deal is through a real estate agent that I've been working with probably since September. He actually I had posted another deal on Craigslist actually, and he found a buyer for that in like 8 hours for me. So anyway, I used he brought the buyer to me. They happen to be from New York City, and I initially had the property under contract for $20,000. I had bids. I had offers come in under that contract price. So, and this is going to happen. So I'm just telling you, if you don't know, now you know. There are going to be times that you're going to have to go back to your seller, and ask them, will they come down on the price? And that's exactly how I put the question to him, was that, hey, this is probably $70,000 to $80,000 worth of work. I mean, not that coming down $5,000 was, going to make that big of an impact, but that's where I needed to be. So eventually he agreed to sell it for $15,000, and we got the deal closed. So that's that. And lastly, what kind of advice would I give someone who's looking to score their first deal? Number one, don't give up. I mean, I know you probably hear that. It's easy. You probably think it's easy for me to say sitting where I'm sitting, but I was sitting where you were sitting too at one point. It took me 8 months to close on my first deal. I was putting deals under contract, however, they weren't closing. So it took 8 months to actually close my first deal. As they say, you don't have to get it right, just get it going. I share with you about the bandit signs. I would suggest, hey, go to dirtcheapsigns.com or wherever you choose to go, purchase some bandit signs, put some bandit signs out. I mean, for in this case, $107 investment, the phone will ring. It definitely will ring. And just don't give up. My suggestion, I mean, one bandit sign is better than 0 bandit signs. 1 letter sent out is better than 0 letters sent out. You got to work with what you got. You know what I mean? Make the best of what you got with what you currently have. So, at the very least, you can cruise for cash. Jot down, addresses of properties that clearly appear to be vacant. If the town that you live in has that information online, look that information up to find out who owns the property. Send them a letter, and guess what? Here's an even more novel concept. Try to find a phone number and give them a call. Say, hey, I noticed that your property was vacant. We're looking to buy in that area. I wanted to know if you would, would you be interested in selling your property, and then take it from there. But do something. Don't not do anything, and just keep going. I mean, here, just to tell you, real quickly, just 2 days ago, by way of a yellow letter, I just put 2 properties under contract for $2,500 each. So that's a total of $5,000. And there are people out there that are just want to be done with the property. It's just too much of a headache for them, and they want to be done. So in this case, there were some back taxes on it. There's a water bill on both of them, and they understood. They understood that, hey, they know what the comps are, and hey, it's a cash deal, and we're willing to take it for that amount. So, and then lastly, what other advice could I give you? I mean, talk to people. Let people know who you are and what you do. Just yesterday, I was taking a look at a few properties, and one of the properties I went to take a walkthrough through. The seller that owns the property lives in New York City, had a neighbor who's a contractor, let me in. And after walking through the property, we got to talking. He told me what he did. I got his business card. He told me who he, what kind of work he did, and the work, who he's doing work for. And he told me, it's 2 investors. They like to buy lots. He told me what type of lots, what size lots they like to buy. So guess what? Now I have 2 buyers. They don't even know who I am right now, but I know where they like to buy these lots. It's very hot. If you're from Philly, you know what I'm talking about. So listen, I can, it's not my thing, but hey, listen, I know that they like to buy lots, and I'll keep my eye out on that. So you just got to keep plugging away. Don't give up. As I said, you don't have to get it right. Just get it going. You don't have to be perfect at this thing. You'll get it. You will get it. So just but you got to do something. You can't just sit back and be paralyzed by fear into inaction. So that's my suggestion. I hope you you received tremendous value out of the video, and be sure to leave a comment, and I'll do my best to answer every comment that's left on this blog post. And again, Steph, thanks for having me. Take care.